The only thing my dad could do better than drink beer is make a beer can chicken. And today I'm going to try to replicate his recipe that I ate growing up. Meet me in the kitchen. Let's make it happen.
Damn, she juicy and flavorful.
That's money.
All right, guys, so there's a couple things that we're going to do today to really elevate this recipe. We have a whole chicken here. It's about 5 pounds. I'm going to do what's called a salt brine. For me, this is one of the best ways to get a juicy piece of chicken. We're going to go ahead and season it with salt. What happens is the salt is going to draw moisture out of the protein, and it's going to reabsorb it. That's going to help, one, the skin's going to be crispy, and two, it's going to help the seasoning penetrate the meat and get down to the bone. So when I season the backside of the bird, this is kind of like the backbone. We're not going to eat a whole lot of that, so we're not going to be too anal about this. But once we flip this bad boy over, we're going to get up under the skin a little bit as well. This is flaky kosher salt or sea salt. You can use whatever salt you have. Dry brine, you can do this overnight. About 24 hours is the max you want to do. Get it in the cavity as well. And then we're going to season it as well with some barbecue rub. We're going to also glaze it up. I'm going to come up with a nice little compound butter with some orange juice that we're going to brush on this during the cooking process. No flavor left behind, guys. We got to make sure this chicken is seasoned to perfection and cooked to perfection. All right, guys, the key to the recipe obviously is the beer can. For those of you out there that don't drink, you don't have to use beer. You can use whatever you want. This is really more of a vessel to stand the chicken upright. So what you want to do is grab yourself, what we should do is not spill this everywhere. There we go. Open the beer first, then take a can opener, and we're going to remove the lid. We're going to pour some of the beer out as well and add some more flavoring on in there, so that as it cooks, it kind of perfumes. There we go. Smells like childhood in here. All right. So what we're going to do is pour out about 2/3 of this. Also known as an absolute sin in my household. We're going to stuff this can with thyme, rosemary, 2 tablespoons of butter, garlic, and then we're going to go in with orange juice and some orange zest. So in goes the orange zest, and we're going to do this juice as well. We're also going to add some orange juice to our basting liquid or basting butter, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to occasionally baste the chicken with. Now for additional flavor, we're going to add some seasoning to the party as well, a little bit of my lemon bay seasoning and a little chicken bouillon powder, just to cover our bases, make sure that what's in here is going to be extra flavorful when it hits that chicken. It's adding aromatics. It's going to perfume the chicken. It's going to be adding flavor as well as it boils and steams from the inside out. It's going to result in a nice, moist, evenly cooked piece of chicken. Speaking of evenly cooked, you never want to start with a cold beer. You want to make sure that it's at least room temperature. If it's hot outside, I like to leave mine outside for about 30 minutes to an hour at least before executing this technique. All right, guys, so after a few hours of dry brining, preferably overnight if you have the time, but I don't today, we're going to go ahead and season this up. I got my lemon bay seasoning. Feel free to use whatever your favorite seasoning is on poultry. I'm just going to add this because it's going to play off the citrus that we're using with the orange. Obviously, this is lemon, but they're still in the citrus family. And it's going to add some nice color and flavor. And then my top coat is going to be barbecue rub. So just try to be even as you can about it. We're going to get down in the cavity as well. You can spray this with some cooking spray if you want to, or a little coat of olive oil to help the rub stick. I'll probably do that on the presentation side. Don't really care that much about the back side of the bird because we're not going to present it like this. So there we go. Go ahead and flip her over. Grab yourself some cooking spray. Then we're going to spray it down and season it nice and even. So for the beer can chicken, we're looking for 160 on the internal temperature for the breast. That way the carryover heat during the resting process will allow the chicken to raise to 165 where it's safe to eat. The dark meat's probably going to be between 175, 180, which is absolutely fine because it's a little bit more fatty. We're going to baste this every 15 minutes until it's done. Next up, we're going to make a little basting butter for our chicken. We're going to melt 1 stick of butter, add a little thyme and rosemary. We're just going to baste this on top of the chicken. I'm also going to add a little brown sugar, hot sauce, and some of that barbecue rub. Shout out to my guy Grilling with Dad for the barbecue rub. Excellent stuff. Check him out if you haven't already. And we're also going to add a little lime juice. So basically we got a little citrus, butter, and herb situation that we're adding. All flavors that combine really nicely with chicken, especially grilled or smoked chicken. We're going to let the aromatics wake up in that butter. We're going to help that out with a little orange juice. If you wanted it to be a little less on the sweet side, you can use lemon. But I really like the orange flavor for this recipe. About a 1/4 cup of hot sauce. A little less if you don't want it to be spicy, but Frank's Red Hot's not really that spicy anyway. A couple tablespoons of brown sugar. And whatever your favorite barbecue rub is. Just give that a little mix, let it simmer for a second. Once the butter is melted, it's good to go. We can start basting it on that chicken. The sugar content of this is going to help caramelize the outside of the bird. Don't go too heavy though, because you don't really want it to burn, but a little caramelization is awesome when it comes to chicken. Think barbecue chicken, same concept there. When you put barbecue sauce on there, it caramelizes. The brown sugar in this is going to do about the same thing there. Lots of flavor in this. All right, guys, during the resting phase, I like to tint it with foil for about 10-15 minutes. Allow the juices to really redistribute. And boy, we got us a pretty bird on our hands here. Go ahead and spin her around. I'm going to start by removing the quarters first. Look, I'm not showing the camera, but the next one you guys will be able to see. Just as juicy as it could possibly be. Look at that. Beautiful drumstick, thigh. Now I'm gonna cut across the breastbone here. Still pretty hot. Probably should have let it rest a little bit longer, but I think we're in good shape and your boy's getting hungry. So we'll try to keep the breast intact. Let's go ahead and pluck this wing off here. Guys, go ahead and get you one of these sharp knives. They're on sale, MrMakeItHappen.com. They're so tender you don't even need a knife though. And this is the part where I say brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is dig in for the taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, people, what piece would you choose? It's a tough decision here. I think I'm going to go drum. See what we got. Oh, wow. Delicious.